guys, today I have my friend Tatiana on, and we actually met through Facebook. We haven't met in person yet, but she's absolutely gorgeous, and we've got a lot to share with you today. So I'm just going to hand it over to Tatiana and let her introduce herself and jump right in.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for that introduction and thank you for inviting me. What I do is I'm a health and life coach. So I basically help women to lose weight, keep it off, and gain tons of energy and feel great in the process.
I love that. And what is your unique angle? Like what makes you totally different than everybody else who's doing something similar?
Well, I specialize in weight loss, but also in digestion and gut health. And I also come from a spiritual perspective, if you will. So I like to tie in everything together, the health, the mindset, the spiritual tools, if you will, to feel amazing inside and out and just basically be your best self and create your best life and make the best of it.
Yes, I love that. So I know that you just had a little touch in there on digestive health. So what drew you into helping people with their digestion?
I help people to, especially people who have a suspicion that they're intolerant to gluten, because I am. So I help people with things like bloating, decreasing bloating, increasing energy and focus, because that has to do a lot with digestion, concentrating better, um, just feeling better overall, and while reducing digestive upset, losing weight, and then just having more mental clarity.
That's definitely something that everybody needs. So what's the story behind that? Like what got you into wanting to help others with digestive health? I know you said you're gluten intolerant. So is that what made you want to help other people with it? Like what was your journey with figuring that out like?
Wow, yes, I found out I was intolerant 2.5 years ago. And it's the funniest thing when I look back on it, because one day I just grabbed this book from the pharmacy. It's called Wheat Belly. And I had no idea what it was and what it was about, but I was a health nut for a while now. I've been one. So I just basically started to read it and thought, wow, this is awesome. I think I'm going to ditch gluten and wheat for a while and see what happens. But I didn't think of myself as gluten intolerant. And simultaneously, I was getting ready to compete in a pageant, the Miss Puerto Rico Universe pageant. That's where I'm from, in Puerto Rico right now.
Woo!
And so, yeah. So basically, after the pageant happened, I started, it was kind of like a weird place to be in, processing everything. And I started to eat gluten again, because again, I didn't think I was intolerant. I felt like, well, that's for other people. You know what I mean? I read the stories in the book and I thought that was pretty cool. But I didn't think like, wow, that's not me, But then I got really ill and I just felt really bad and my belly got huge, even though I exercise practically every day. And so about a month after the pageant was over, I looked, and I kid you not, I looked like I was 5 months pregnant. It was
Oh
crazy.
my goodness.
Yeah. And so like I kept ignoring it and I thought, well, maybe I just need to eat a little less or whatever. But I remember one morning I just woke up exhausted after sleeping for like 9 hours and fatigued, and I couldn't breathe properly and my belly was inflamed. And I remember kind of like having to literally roll out of bed. And I was like, yeah, like, and I couldn't even like breathe that well. And I thought, wow, this is what an obese person must feel like when they wake up in the morning. But I'm not obese. So what's going on? And so I was doing a fragrance promotions, which is what I did back then. And a coworker saw me really upset and helped me to like trace back my steps and figure it out. And then I put everything together. When I started to include wheat and gluten in my diet again after cutting it out for so long, that I just kept feeling worse and worse and worse. And so when it hit me that that was what was happening, I cut it out again, and I started to feel better and better and better. And in a few weeks, I was back to my old self again. So that's how I found out.
Goodness. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Were you
Wake up
super
call.
devastated? What?
Devastated? No, I was relieved. I was like, okay, thank goodness it's not something, more serious or anything like that. It was fixable because I was really scared. I didn't know what was going on.
Yes, good, good. And then since you were already into health, I'm sure that you knew there were so many other options out there for people who are gluten-free, like their gluten-free options. So,
Yeah, I did know some, but honestly, it was a bumpy ride because I just defaulted into eating a bunch of raw nuts, and I didn't I didn't know back then if you just eat too much, you're gonna get inflamed again. But not as bad as with wheat, but I did have to learn to figure it out, and I think I've done so by now.
what led you to creating your business and wanting to help other women after going through all of this, going through finding out that you were gluten intolerant and through modeling and the pageants and everything? What did your starting a business journey look like? I know that you said you had multiple businesses and worked lots of jobs, so yeah, tell us about that.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I worked like a million jobs. I couldn't hold one for a long period of time. Like I just kept going from one job to the next. And so like I basically, like I've always known that I wanted to be my own boss, but I didn't know how. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I kind of started things in the past. And then I ended up working for someone else as a metabolism consultant. And that was after Miss Puerto Rico. But during the pageant, like I got attention for my figure, right? And I realized that I lost a bunch of weight and got in shape really quickly. And people started noticing, and I got like a lot of attention during it, but also after. And then I had all of these people like asking me, what do I do to lose weight, right? What do I do? What do I do? Like it started to get like a little overwhelming because at the beginning, at the beginning I kind of ignored it. I was like, oh, just do this and that. I didn't think much of it. But then more and more people kept asking me, and I thought, well, maybe this is something I should look into. So I just like started to see how I could do it online, and I saw that I could maybe sell other people's digital products. And I thought, well, I'll just do that with health products and what have you. But I just felt so scattered. And back to the metabolism consultant job I ended working at. I did that for a brief period of time, but I realized how much I really liked helping people with their health, like not just me, but helping others. And I also got how important the mindset part was because, you probably can relate to this too in your line of work, because we can maybe give people advice or tell them what they could do, but if the mindset is not there, then it's going to be very difficult, or they're not going to follow through in the way that they need to get the results that they want. So I knew that the mindset part was very important. And so I was just like really open, like, okay, universe, just fine, like just tell me what to do. Like I'm open. I started to think how I wanted my life to look like, how I wanted to feel like. That's like the most important thing ever. And that started to set the foundation. And one day I saw an ad to become a health coach on my Gmail account, right at the top of my Gmail account. And you would think that I would have said yes that day, but I didn't. It took me a few months because I kept ignoring it. I kept closing the ad. I was like, nope, nope, nope. I don't care. I don't want to do that. That's not for me, without even looking into it. But then after, that retargeting that they're really good at. So I finally said yes after I talked to a clarity coach, as they called it. And so I started the training, and I absolutely loved it from day one. I started studying when I was on vacation. That's how much I loved it. So
Oh,
yeah, yeah. And it didn't even feel like studying for the first time in my life, right? So
gosh.
I finished my training, and one thing led to the other, and I started to get clients, and here we are about a year and a half later.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Wow. So once you started the training, was it just like, it sounds like you just slipped into it and it was like, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. Was that what it was like? Or how did that whole, I guess, how did that whole process of taking the course and turning it into a business, how did that go for you?
Well, the way they set it up at my coaching school, Technimness, they have the business part of it integrated. That's why I knew I
Oh,
had to do it in part, because I knew that I would be covered, not just in the skills that I had to learn, but also in how to make a living out of it, basically. So I wish I
oh,
could tell you that I just said yes from the beginning, but I had so much like mindset stuff that I had to go around and let go at every single step of the way, even after starting the training, even after loving it.
what were the mindset things that you had to overcome when you were going through the training? And yeah, I guess afterwards, once you even started coaching people, what did your mindset shifts look like during that time?
Well, since I started so many things in the past and I went through so many jobs, like I was really, really afraid of people saying, not afraid, but self-conscious of people saying, oh, here she goes again with something else that
Mm,
she's not going to complete or, that she's not going to commit to.
yeah.
And I was so self-conscious of my family and my friends, like not taking me seriously because,
Mm,
they didn't believe I would stick to it. So that was one of the things.
yeah.
Another thing was to actually commit to something, because I'm a little airy fairy by nature. Like people might look at me now and think that I'm super disciplined, and I am to a certain extent. But I've had to learn to be disciplined. I've had to learn consistency, and so that was one of the big things. And then another one has to be just that mindset shift that you have to go through when you go from being an employee to working for yourself, because now I have to make things happen, you know what I mean? And now I have to get my business in order and my clients and my content, and everything depends on me, so to speak. And it
Mm-hmm.
sounds super serious, but I actually enjoy it a lot now. Like I love it. But yeah, I had to really go through that and let go of all of that mental crap to just basically get myself out of overwhelm, because I was like the queen of overwhelm.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I feel you. What helped you the most with overcoming feeling overwhelmed?
I like the saying, do what you can with what you have from where you are. And that's basically, as simple as it may sound, that's basically how I live my life. Like I just literally did what I could do at that moment, and on that day. And I just took it from there. And in time, it starts to add up, and it starts to get easier and easier. Sometimes we think, well, I won't do this until I have this and that, or until this happens, or until I figure out this thing. But we always can do something. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I love that. There's always something that we can do to move forward, whether it's big or small, you know, it's still progress.
Definitely. Definitely. I can so attest to it, because a year and a half later, I can say, oh, like it actually worked. Like things are a lot easier now. It has worked tremendously. And also, something very interesting that I discovered, just honing in my awareness, is that sometimes I used overwhelm as an excuse to not move forward and therefore to
Mm,
not fail. Right.
yeah.
So that could,
Like, oh, well, I'm already overwhelmed, so let me just procrastinate
mhm,
even
yeah.
more.
So that way I won't fail. That way I won't try, and that way things won't turn out in a way that I don't want, or whatever. Or that way, I would keep myself overwhelmed so that way I wouldn't have to show up and I wouldn't have to tell everyone what I was doing. I kept it quiet for the longest time. And so it is like overwhelm could be like a sneaky excuse. And there's a meme that really, if people hearing know this meme, they're gonna crack up, because that was me. There's a little meme that it's like a stick figure sitting on a bed and crying. And crying, just looking at the ceiling. I think it's like the most hilarious thing. Like you can tell nothing is happening, but that the little drawing is super overwhelmed. That used to be me. Like there is.
Yeah. Aw.
So definitely.
That's a really cute image.
Yeah, and it describes me precisely at that moment. Now, not so much. Now, not so much. But back then, yeah. So hopefully that'll resonate with anyone that does feel really overwhelmed when they want to like tackle something or create something. That sometimes we could use it to stop ourselves.
Definitely. What advice would you give yourself if you were looking back now, like as that little stick figure that was super duper overwhelmed? What would you say to yourself now?
Well, do what you can with what you have. From where you are, it's gonna be okay. And because my thing was that I would link consistency and commitment with lack of freedom. And I thought the two were mutually exclusive. And it wasn't until I got that the consistency and the discipline and the structure was the very thing that was going to create the freedom that I wanted. So I would tell myself.
So I don't know what is going on with the universe right now. We keep on getting disconnected. So I'm going to just jump into a new question here. So Tatiana, I know that you and I are both big into spirituality. So what is your take on spirituality and how it affects like every area of life? So like your mental state, your health, your wealth. What do you feel about spirituality? What's your take on that?
Ooh, my favorite subject. For me, spirituality is how the non-physical world and the physical world work together, and how it's almost like to me the physical world is the leading edge of the spiritual world, and then and the physical world then kind of like feeds off of what we can't see. And I'm very practical, and I just like to use spiritual tools, if you will, or that communication with that which is greater to create my life, to create and design my life with the help of that which is greater, if that makes any sense. Like I'm very practical about it. Yeah.
Yes, it completely does. So what are some of your favorite tools that you use in order to
I love that question. So as far as teachers and tools, my favorites are Abraham Hicks. I know you like them too. Yay, love them. I went to see them live. I don't think you know that, but I went to see them live a few years ago. Yeah. And then Access Consciousness also has amazing tools. Wallace D. Wattles, he's deceased. I mean, I think he was an author from the beginning of the 20th century, but he left us with some great books. So I do use some of his tools as well for my life. And then, of course, Rhonda Byrne, creator of The Secret. So that I would say those are my main spiritual teachers right now. And yeah, so far so good. I just like make my own buffet of how I want to create myself and create my life, and what kind of tools I want to use, and what kind of perspective I want to have on the world, on myself, on my life, and have fun. And having lots of fun. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Not worth it if you're not having fun, right?
Not at all. Yeah.
So what does your day look like then with using those different tools? Like, I guess, do you have like a daily routine, a morning routine, a nighttime routine? Like, how do you fit your spirituality into your day?
Oh, yeah, yes, definitely. So what I like to do is I hear a lot about morning routine and I do too, but I like to start off my day the night before, so to speak. So what I
Ooh.
yeah, what I tend to do is that I leave everything ready so I don't have to go into the mindset of going mentally through my to-do list at the beginning of the day, and I can just leave that part of my day to be in communion with God, source, spirit, or whatever you want to call it. So what I basically do the night before is that I leave everything ready. You know, I leave my coffee maker ready. I have my to-do list ready. I leave my workout gear ready. A time saver, like I really recommend it. I know which workout I'm going to do beforehand. And so basically everything important is done. And so when I wake up the next day, I go through my gratitude list, or I just think about one thing that I'm grateful for and why, and kind of like start easing into the day. And then I, have my coffee, I meditate, I maybe journal a little bit and exercise. And the reason why I like to do things the night before is because that those first minutes, that first hour of the day is so beautiful and important that I don't want to squander it. I don't want to ruin it, so to speak, going into what my action steps for the day are going to be necessarily. Like I don't go into that energy just yet as soon as I wake up. I like to take advantage of that time and start as I said, like praying or visualizing or meditating, and to just really feel like I'm connecting with God, if that makes any sense. And then after I feel like, okay, I got myself all prepped up, then I go into my action steps.
Okay, I love that. For your meditations, do you use a guided meditation or do you just what does your meditation practice look like?
Oh, yes. Well, lately I have been loving Abraham Hicks guided meditations. They have a series called In the Vortex, and I like the one that says financial well-being. And so I mix and match. I do either the financial well-being or the general well-being, and I just choose either one of the day that I feel like. And then throughout the day, sometimes if I'm doing like a bunch of stuff, sometimes I like to just stop. Like I've been doing deep house cleaning, as I've been telling you about. And so if I get a little bit, like if I feel my vibration is dipping a little bit, I stop and I meditate again. And for that, like throughout the day, I like to use Dr. Jeffrey Thompson's alert relaxation meditation. That one's a little bit longer, it's 20 minutes, and Abraham's meditations are 15 minutes, but they're all so, so good.
Are they all on YouTube?
They are on YouTube as well. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and something, if
Awesome.
I need like a little pick me up and I don't have a lot of time, this one is not really a meditation, it's more like an instrumental song, but I use it to meditate. It's called A Walk by, I think the group is pronounced Taiko or Taisho,
Mm-hmm.
Ticho, and that's just 5 minutes, so that really gets me going very quickly.
Ooh, I'll definitely have to check that one out.
Yeah, yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send the link to you.
Yes, yes, perfect. Please do. So, where can people find you if they want to connect with you and talk about spirituality or gut health, or if they want to work with you? Where can people find you?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for asking. Sure. And if there's anyone listening out there that feels like they're struggling with, losing weight, or their energy level or their digestion, or they really want to increase their frequency overall, and they feel like they could use some spiritual holistic aspect to just get the life that they want, and feel better in general and get their health in order. And it can be translated into any aspect of your life, basically. So what you can do is, if you feel called to it, you can schedule a breakthrough call session with me. You can just go to workwithtatiana.com. Even though it says work, The call is complimentary. Okay. So, and we can then, you can schedule a session with me for 45 to 60 minutes, solely focused on you, on what it is that you want, figuring out what it is that you want, what's preventing you from it, which is usually what's preventing a lot of people from it that they don't necessarily know about, and what you can do about it, what the next steps would be to get what you want in terms of your health and well-being and overall happiness. So you can just go now to workwithtatiana.com and then just enter your email and you'll get all of the information set straight into your inbox.
Perfect. And if they want to find you on Instagram or Facebook, where do they find you there?
Yes, I'm loving Instagram lately. That's where I hang out the most. I give my health and well-being tips on the daily, and you can actually see me and you can direct message me at Miss Tatiana Zoe, right? That's MISS Tatiana ZOE on Instagram. That's where you'll find me the quickest.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Of course, I agree. I had a blast. I always love talking to you. It's so much fun.
Oh,
I learned
you
so
too,
much.
you too, girl. Thank you.